Hi everyone. I am going to show you how to navigate to and how to use the Remote Learning at East site so that you can find technology resources and access to the things that we're subscribing to here at East this year, all contained in one place with hopefully some useful information for you as you're trying to navigate things this year. So we're starting off by going to the East homepage. And once you're here on the East homepage, if you come to Staff Center, and then, oops, sorry, and then come over here, you will find the Remote East site. And if we click on that, this has been shared previously via some emails earlier in the year, but we just wanted to give an opportunity during this round of PLC technology agendas to give you some time to explore a little bit here and see if there is some useful information for you. So this is the homepage of the site, and here is just some general information. The continuity of learning plan is here from the district and the current schedule that we're using. There's some things from over the summer that may help out with hybrid and getting your screen set up if you're still looking to get going with something like that. And there's some other just general kind of information here on the homepage. As we go across the different sub pages here, the first one is East subscriptions. So if you're wondering what exactly we do have a subscription for this year, you can find it on this page. Um, there are quite a few that have been purchased, various departments, various content areas needed to try out different types of software for the year, and most of them did come with school-wide licensing and ability to use. So we wanted to make sure that everyone knew what was available if you were choosing to take advantage of it. Some of these items will do similar, if not the same things. But we just wanted to make sure that everyone knew what was out there and what specifically East is subscribing to in case you wanted to give these items a try. If you come down to one of the items themselves, you'll find the link to get to the page, as well as some information about what it could potentially be used for. So this is Edpuzzle, what its possibilities are, what exactly Edpuzzle is, how the teachers can access it, how students can access it, and finally some information about how it works. So each of these subscriptions that we have has a similar format here so that you can kind of at a glance see what it is that we have and what it could potentially do for you and your students. So that's the subscriptions page. The second page here, online pedagogy, has links to just general resources in the areas of teaching and learning in online settings. So you may want to check some of this stuff out. There are some standards that have been around for a while in the realm of quality online learning. So they might have some useful information for you if we go into them. One of the things that I found helpful, if we look, for example, at standard B, the standards themselves are listed here, but then if you come down into the explanation and the examples, each one gives examples of online approaches to it, and also mentions a blended setting, which would be the hybrid type setting where you have students both in person and at home remotely, so that you can kind of blend this the online pieces with the in-person pieces. So that is a useful thing to check out. If you're interested, these are not required or it's not necessary. It's just some information that's out there in the realm of online pedagogy and online teaching. So that's a little bit about those standards. The next couple of pieces are books that you can access via our library's databases. There's some e-books, and these are to support online and remote learning. There's the online teaching in K-12, and then there's some other pedagogical books as well. This one is specific to a K-12 setting, but many of the other ones are for college or university settings, because prior to last March, that was how online teaching and learning primarily existed in more of a college or university type setting. So even though they're written for teachers of that level, there is still some great information that can be deemed from them, as far as general what makes for good online instruction, good online practices for teachers and students, and just some interesting things to check out. If you want, if you come down a little bit further, there are some um, content specific, more content specific books. This one is Learning and Teaching Writing Online. There's one for humanities, and then there's a couple science um, ebooks too that you can check out. This is teaching lab science courses online, again, written at a college level, but there may be some connections that you can make to translate to what we're doing here and now with our remote and coming up hybrid settings. So if you click on any one of these resources, it's going to redirect you to a page where you do need to sign in to authenticate that you are someone who is able to access these resources. So you'll see the East Library symbol come up here. For username, you're just putting in the beginning part of your email address. Do not include at chclc.org. And then whatever your same password is. And let me get out of here. And then it will take you directly into the book. And what we have here is the entire book available for you to click through and read if you're looking for more information. It's a great place to go to check out these resources and access this ebook online. So that's a little bit about the second page here, the online pedagogy. And then the rest of the pages, we have kind of broken down some of what these resources on this online pedagogy page have discussed as being the best practices in online pedagogy. So we broke down those by topic and tried to make it so that if you were looking to do asynchronous learning, for example, you could click on the page here and get some ideas and resources to find ways to do that. There are things throughout this site that will repeat. So for example, Nearpod may show up in a couple of these different categories because it can be used for multiple things. But we wanted to lay it out this way so that when teachers were looking to do something via a best practice, they could quickly and easily find things to or the online technologies that they would need in order to do those best practices. So our idea was to put the practice and the theory and the pedagogy behind online teaching as the primary focus, as opposed to, hey, why don't you try using Nearpod? Or hey, why don't you try using Edpuzzle? We wanted to first make it that asynchronous learning could be a best practice for you and your students. Building relationships is a best practice for you and your students. Here are some ways that here are some technologies that you can use in order to integrate those best practices into your work. So instead of, I feel like a lot of ed tech training focuses on the technologies themselves as opposed to the pedagogy of online technology and online teaching. And we kind of wanted to flip things around with the way this site was set up. So hopefully you will find it useful. Hopefully you'll be clicking through and find some good things that you want to learn more about or try out, and interesting, fun things to do with your students. Thanks, everybody.